Hello everyone, my name is Tracy Anapin and I will be presenting about what is a tax audit framework. Let us begin by understanding about what is a tax audit framework is. A tax audit framework is an official document that is issued by the country tax authority. For example, in Malaysia, it is issued by the Inland Revenue Board or called as IRB. This framework outlines the procedures, principles, and expectations involved in conducting the tax audits. It is important to note that the tax audit framework is not just for the tax officers, but it is also a guide for the taxpayers to ensure that the tax audit is being conducted in a way that is fair, transparent, and consistent for all parties involved. Now, let us look at the main purposes of this framework. Now, let us look at the main purposes of this framework. Now, let us look at the main purposes of this framework. Now, let us look at the main purposes. First, it aims to promote voluntary compliance. This means to encourage the taxpayers to file the tax return and pay the correct amount of tax without needing the enforcement action. Second, the framework ensures transparency and fairness. Second, the framework ensures transparency and fairness. Second, the framework, the taxpayers are informed of their rights and obligations. Meanwhile, the tax officer must follow a standard process that applies equally to everyone. Now, let us look at the main purposes of this framework. Now, let us look at the main purposes of this framework. Now, let us look at the main purposes of this framework. Now, let us look at the main purposes of this framework. Now, let us look at the main about the importance of proper record keeping, the compliance, and what to expect during the tax audit. In summary, the tax audit framework is a key tool to build the trust between the tax authority and the public. It ensures that the tax audits are carried out professionally while also helping the taxpayers to understand the responsibility and prepare accordingly.
Hello, my name is Ashida and I'm going to present about the type of the tax audit. They have two types of the tax audit and I'm going to present to you all one of them, which is the general review. What is the general review? General review, firstly, it offers the desk auditing and also other basic and then tax taking place at the IRBM. What is IRBM? IRBM is Inland Revenue Board in Malaysia. They're taking place at IRBM headquarters and addressing a straightforward issues like, example, Section 78 of Income Tax Act 1967. It's also involved in checking, firstly, taxpayers' annual tax return, as example, from BE, B, and P. And then, supporting documents like accounts, ledger, receipts, and also contracts. Lastly, it's compliance with the deductions and exemptions of the rebate claim. And then, general review also covers all of the aspects that taxpayers' financial activities include income, expenses, and also various types of claim. They have benefits of the general tax audit reviews. Firstly, it increased the credibility of the tax system, and then it also promotes the fairness by ensuring that all of the taxpayers pay their correct shares of the statements. And then lastly, it identifies the area where the taxpayer can improve their submissions.
My name is Patricia, and my registration number is 2024222444. I'm going to explain what a comprehensive review audit is in a simple way. Imagine a company or a government office like a big machine. For that machine to work, well, all its parts like money, people, systems, and rules must function properly. A comprehensive review audit is like a full check-up of this machine. It is a thorough and detailed evaluation of an organization's financial, operational, or compliance-related activities. It doesn't just look at one thing, like the money or finances. Instead, it checks everything, like how the money is used, if employees are following the rules, or whether the work is being done properly, and if the goals of the organizations are being met. The purpose of this audit is to find out what is working well, what needs improvement, and if anything is going wrong, like wasting resources, breaking rules, or missing deadlines. For example, in a school setting, it will be like checking if the school is spending money wisely, teachers are teaching as planned, and rules are being followed all at once. This type of audit is especially useful for large organizations and government departments because it helps improve the performance, ensures transparency, and builds trust with the public. In short, a comprehensive review audit is a complete inspection to help organizations become more efficient, responsible, and effective in their work.
Next, we move on to the objectives of tax audit. The tax audit serves several important objectives to ensure the integrity and fairness of the tax system. These objectives are as follows. The first one is to encourage voluntary compliance with tax laws and regulations. Tax audits are intended to promote honesty among taxpayers in fulfilling their tax obligations. By fostering voluntary compliance, taxpayers are more likely to report their income accurately and pay the correct amount of tax without the need for enforcement actions. The second one is to ensure a higher tax compliance rate under the self-assessment system. Under the self-assessment system, taxpayers are responsible for computing and declaring their own taxes. The tax audit helps to improve the overall compliance rate by verifying the taxpayers have fulfilled their obligations in accordance with the law. The third one is to ensure the correct amount of income is reported and the right amount of tax is paid in accordance with tax laws and regulations. A tax audit ensures that taxpayers report their income properly and pay the appropriate amount of tax. This is essential to protect government revenue and maintain fairness within the tax system.
Tax audits aim to enhance the efficiency and effectiveness of the tax administration system. By reviewing records and identifying inconsistencies, audit helps improve internal processes and ensure smoother tax collection and compliance. Audits are essential to detect and deter tax evasion and fraud. They act as a control mechanism that discourages dishonest practices and holds taxpayers accountable for accurate reporting. Last, one of the most important objectives is to educate and create awareness among taxpayers about their rights and responsibilities. Many people are unaware of the full scope of their obligations, and audits provide a learning opportunity that help promote voluntary compliance in the future. In summary, a well-conducted tax audit doesn't just uncover issues, it helps strengthen the overall tax ecosystem through improved system, reduce fraud, and increase taxpayer understanding.
Now, I will talk about the years of assessment covered for tax audit in Malaysia. There will be two situations here. The first one is a normal tax audit. Normally, a tax audit may cover around 1 to 3 years of assessment. However, the years of assessment covered may be extended up to 5 years of assessment, depending on audit issues found. For example, the current year of assessment is 2025. Therefore, the years of assessment to be covered are from 2024, 2023, and 2022. If there are any issues found, therefore, The years will be extended up to 2021 and 2020. In case of fraud with full default or negligence, there will be no limits of numbers of years of assessment to be covered. IIB will check the audit when the fraud, the willful default, or the negligence occur. If found guilty, the taxpayer will be penalty